Yeah, what is up, my dudes? I'm back with another video. This time I'm going to be going over chapter 2 of my Killing Games fanfic. Now this chapter starts off with um with everyone just talking and whatnot, and Shido was eventually like, well, whoever killed Mana, just say it. And of course, surprisingly, unsurprisingly, no one really says anything. And Shido, deep down, knew it wasn't any of his friends. It wasn't Toka, it wasn't Kurumi, it wasn't Kaguya, it wasn't Kotori, basically. It wasn't any of them. And while they were saying, while Shido was thinking this, Kurumi noticed something. Their bangles had a timer on them, so she's like, guys, we have some more pressing matters to attend to. Look at our bangles. And they noticed that there was a timer on them, and that something bad would probably happen if it reached zero, basically. And that is when Monokuma comes on screen again, and was like, yeah, correct, Kurumi. You, well done, Kurumi. You are the, most level-headed of the group. So it's not that much of a, so what wasn't really that much of a surprise. I can't say the same for Mana, even after and Monokuma stops himself, right? Because he's like, oop, I almost let out a big spoiler there. And I love that I just had him break the fourth wall and almost let out who the attacker was, basically. I love that I did that, because it's basically something that Monokuma would actually do. Because he almost did that in the original Danganronpa first season. So I thought that I would throw that in there as kind of a hilarious moment in the reference. But eventually the timer only had a minute left. So Toka, Shido, Kurumi, and Kotori all go to Shido's room. And Kaguya was like, well, I'll just sleep out here. I'll sleep out here and all that stuff. And Shido agreed and all that. And so they all go in to Shido's room besides Kaguya. And right as the timer reaches 0, Kaguya, of course, really felt tired. And she's like, ugh, I'll probably get some sleep, basically. And sorry, I had to actually yawn there. Sorry, guys. But eventually Kaguya fell unconscious, basically. And because the bangle had reached 0, they all fell unconscious, including Kaguya. So they eventually, Shido, Kurumi, Toka, and Kotori eventually wake up, realizing everything was fine. Of course, Shido, remembering Kaguya, he yells her name and just he runs out. He runs out and into the hallway and just stops dead in his tracks, basically. And this is when the horrifying stuff starts, man. He stops and sees Kaguya, basically. And I want to give a little graphic warning. This is where it gets really dark. So if you were squeamish, I would not recommend listening to the rest of this, because it gets dark quick. So continuing on, Shido sees Kaguya, and she's just on the floor, dead, basically. And she has a metal pole just sticking out of her throat, basically. She pushed it all the way through, and she's just dead. It's all the way through. She fell. The gravity pushed her head all the way down to the ground, and there's just blood coming down the rest of the pole because the gravity had actually pushed her head down when she actually basically died, basically. So Shido just yells out at this horrific sight, and Kodori was like, Shido, what's going? And then she just stops dead, and she screams as well at this horrific sight. And at that point, Monokuma comes on and is like, bum 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 bum. Yeah, guys, the attacker attacked again. What are you guys going? The attacker attacked again, basically. And basically, you guys are gonna have to figure out this mystery. And you will have to figure it out next time, basically. And Monokuma goes off of the monitor, and that actually ends the second chapter. Who is this attacker, guys? Who killed, basically, Mana and Kaguya, dude? It's a real mystery and all that stuff. So, again, I love how... almost said Kaguya. I love how Monokuma almost spoiled it outright. Who the attacker was. I love that I put that thing there about, like, him almost spoiling it, because it's just something that Monokuma would really do, and stuff. Of course he catches himself before he says who it is, and yeah, I just thought that I would throw that in there. It's a hilarious moment that I just thought that I would throw that in there. And yeah, this fanfic just keeps getting darker and darker, guys. Next chapter will probably be even darker with one of the characters' deaths and all that stuff. So yeah, almost every chapter has a character's death. I'll just spoil that outright. I won't spoil who it is, though, of course. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, until next time, guys, peace out.